What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 170 of the Cheesy Controller Podcast. I'm your host, Anton LaPlatte. Joining me, as always, we have the mayor of Stardew Valley, Chris Montalbano.
What's going on, everybody?
We got the most generous squid in the sea, Jalen Roberts.
Are there so many hidden doors? I'm just trying to navigate.
And we got the Ray Trace Durag, Madrid Devon.
Sometimes you just want to fist fight chaos.
We got a jam-packed episode for you guys this week. We're going to be talking about The Witcher. We're going to be talking about Switch and PlayStation firmware updates. We're going to be talking about the Xbox Indie Showcase and, of course, Elden Ring. So the first big announcement that kind of came out of this was CD Projekt Red. They announced that there's going to be a new Witcher game. They haven't officially called it Witcher 4 or anything like that, but there's going to be a new game in the Witcher series. They're switching.
Probably a new pro tag.
Yeah, it seems like a new
that's
pro tag.
Definitely what it's looking like.
Because the only image we have is like one of the Witcher medallions in the snow, and it's definitely not Geralt's. People are hypothesizing that it's going to be Ciri.
Yeah, based on the last game.
Right. And so apparently they're doing another spin-off. So like they did this show and they did anime spin-off from the show, or just like a Witcher anime, and apparently they have another show in production or in the Witcher universe. So
yeah, they about to milk that bitch for all it's worth.
right. I hope it doesn't slow down the Trigger Cyberpunk anime.
I don't see why it would.
I don't think they have anything to do with each other.
I mean, it's all happening under CDPR, so one of the interesting things about this new title is they're working on Unreal Engine 5. So they're not going to be using the Red engine, which would seem to be part of the problem with Cyberpunk's development, is that all the people they had working on the game had to work in their proprietary tool set, and Unreal is basically industry standard. So this kind of gives them an opportunity to hire on more talent, and instead of having to spend time and energy training the talent on using their own tools, they're going to be working with Epic. Actually, that's part of the thing they announced with the partnership, that they're going to be using Unreal Tournament, and they're going to Unreal Engine.
Unreal Engine.
Unreal Tournament is a great game on Unreal Engine. They got canceled because Fortnite got too big.
Fortnite removed building.
Oh yeah, they did. So
They did. That's crazy.
It's only for the first 9 days. So by the time people are hearing this, it's kind of
Dead news.
yeah.
It's bad.
But
Was it like a limited time event?
It wasn't even like an event. It was just like the main modes.
Some story elements.
I don't think it. Well, they were saying you'd have to like get your ability to build back in some story. I haven't played this season, so. But one of the things they did, so they removed building, but also for the first weekend of the new season, where everybody's buying battle passes and skins and V-Bucks and all of that, they put 100% of their 100% of their profits are going to Ukraine. So,
Thanks.
Epic being out here,
Putting their money where their mouth is.
Well, and that's something like consistently since Epic has been making Fortnite money, they give developers a better revenue share. They let creators, so you can get an Epic creator code, and so like if you are a creator centered around Fortnite or anything really, because I've seen a lot of bigger creators get like where you can just give them a percentage of what you buy off the Epic Game Store in any sense. Like you can just get money sent to them. And speaking of sending money, you can go to cheesycontrollerpodcast.com, click the coffee link or Ko-Fi or whatever link, and you can donate directly to the podcast. And we'd greatly
We can
appreciate
become the
that.
Ko-Fi Controller Podcast, brother. Where if your vibrations is high enough in the donations chamber, you will get beamed directly content just like this. Right into your
Directly to
retina cornea.
mind.
Your third retina cornea, brother.
So with CD Projekt Red now working on Unreal Engine, first thing everybody was like, oh, they're doing this and it's going to be an Epic Game Store exclusive. And they said, no, it's not. It's not going to have any type of exclusivity because they run the GOG store. Like, through some moving and shaking. I remember us covering this story, but yeah. It's definitely going to be available on GOG, and it's definitely going to be available on the Epic Game Store and most likely Steam because like The Witcher's not exclusive in any sense. Like The Witcher's on Switch, like Witcher 3 currently. So it'll be really interesting to see the feedback they can give Epic on working on an open world game because they had to have learned a lot from working on Cyberpunk. And I mean, Witcher 3 was also open world. And so, with them being able to work directly with this tech and basically give feedback directly to Epic on working in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
Because we only have a few games confirmed that are being developed in Unreal Engine 5. I don't think we have any Unreal Engine 5 games released publicly. So, for a game of this scale to be developed in Unreal 5 with just, I think that'll help progress those tools and kind of get more people in the industry used to the tool set.
That does at the end of every generation of console, like when every developer has just kind of like figured it all out and just like, I'm kind of excited. It's going to be a second before they figure this, like every console out and they figure out Unreal Engine 5, but I'm so excited for what they're going to make and how cool it's going to look and like just the shit they can like do, like the things they could do on PS1 at the end of the generation of PS1 and the things that came out from the PS2. Like the PS1 looked better than the PS2 in the beginning, and it's consistently like that. And I can't wait to see how far they're going to go with this actual generation because it's still new.
I want to see people go balls deep on design, like giving good fucking features to like black hair textures. They could really actually nail it. Like 2K, a lot of video games make hair look like Grinch fingers. Our hair doesn't look like Grinch fingers. That's not how it works.
Oh, but
also, I would like to add the fact that all these tools are higher fidelity with a lot less effort. So it's like we're going to have better turnaround time.
That's true.
That can reduce crunch with the extra productivity. It'll allow smaller developers to create higher fidelity games.
Yeah. And one of the things what you were saying, Chris, about developers getting better with the tools by the end of the generation, unlike previous generations where there was a reset pretty much every generation as far as like the tools being different. The Xbox Series X is the same x86 architecture as the Xbox One, and the PS5 is the same. That's why they're just backwards compatible out the gate and actually can optimize. Like patches are being pushed for PS4 games where they can just be aware that they're running on the more powerful hardware, and even backwards compatible games that aren't necessarily getting a all new next gen version. So you're right. Like by the end of the PS3, what Naughty Dog was doing with The Last of Us, like looked better than some of the launch games on PS4. But now they're working on
that was just the consensus of like what was happening every new generation. And I mean, you know what? That does kind of make sense because we should have gotten to a point to where, like, I guess it is just an updated, like, it's still the same system, but now it's just on more powerful tech. Like, the software is still the same, but now the tech can run what you've been trying to do. So that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And so that's kind of one of the things, like, where we're at in the industry right now, as far as, like, and Unreal Engine 5 has addressed this. Your phone, the Switch, PS4 and PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series, like, all of these are essentially just different targets. Like, once now you can build a PC build of a game and scale it and set the targets directly to the hardware and just porting it's not like in the PS3 generation.
That's huge.
Where
That's
you had
huge.
to-
That's already you don't have to create a whole new team to port a game over. Like,
Yeah.
right. And that's one of the reasons, like, so many
So sick.
things that shouldn't technically be able to run on Switch can, because even the Switch is actually NVIDIA stuff, whereas Xbox and PlayStation are AMD. But I mean, the architecture is similar enough in all of these things to just like a standard PC that you could build a PC to spec. Like, the Steam Deck is close to the specs of a PS4.
Yeah.
So you can have, and I mean, even just having the Steam Deck as a thing, like, I've been listening to a couple different podcasts where developers have been using the Steam Deck, and they're like, yeah, we just upload our build to Steam, test it out on the Steam Deck. That's kind of like a way to do it. And even that's like a set target where that you do have the optimization settings that if you want to crank it and completely kill your battery, and you can, but
see, you got to give people options, you know?
yeah. And Unreal Engine 5 is going, like, out of the gate. They know, they're like, look, you can put a game. That's one of the things they said, because they figured out a lot of these things with Fortnite, is just, if you want to, you can just implement crossplay into your game. So, like, that's just on a base level. If you're working in Unreal Engine, that's just a tool that's available for you. Whereas previously, a lot of games that were trying to do crossplay had to build their own infrastructure and kind of like figure it out on their own. Now, Epic's just like, here, it's built in. And so it's good between Unity and Unreal, and I'm sure other engines are doing this. I'm just not keeping, like, I'm not a developer, so I'm not keeping up with it as much. But I know a lot of the things that have gotten in the way of developers, like, seeing their vision through, are being removed, like, at an engine level. So, like, the Unreal tech demo they did for the Matrix, like the Matrix Unreal 5 tech demo, a lot of the things they showed in that are just like, yeah, you don't necessarily need much to do something of that quality, because they're like, this city, we built it, it's free, it's on the Unreal Asset Store, and if you want, like, if we wanted to, we could just like mess around with some rigs, like put some character models, and we wouldn't have to develop an environment because they've already built that highly detailed open world city that you can just use. And so that's kind of one of the things going forward, especially on the Unreal side of things, is that you don't necessarily need a designer designing every single rock in the game. You know,
Right.
you can just have an environment artist like literally go pull assets and drop them in the world. And I'm sure there's going to be optimization that's needed. Like, I don't assume that any of this will be easy, like completely easy, but I feel like it'll be a lot easier and a lot more standardized and a lot more collaborative. So, I mean, Epic's out here making moves, and I feel like in the end, we're only going to get better games because of it. Because the amount of games that use Unreal currently, Like if you have a developer that's familiar with Unreal, using Unreal 5 will open up a lot of opportunities for that developer to do more.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, speaking of having developers that are able to do more, PlayStation acquired Haven Studios. Like that's the newest PlayStation first party team.
Are we speaking of a studio that can do more? Or are we? I mean, this is like PlayStation is known for like, okay, you showed how much money you can make us. Let's put it like.
Well, Haven hasn't put out a game yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, PlayStation is known for like Insomniac. Let's put a ring on it. You made us fucking Ratchet and Clank, and you've made us Spider-Man.
Which should we?
Returnal did so well.
What should we know about Haven?
So Haven,
the lead developer is from who got
Jade
what was
Raymond.
Amazon's? Yeah, Amazon's. Google Stadia off the ground. Yeah.
Well, she didn't. She was one of the leads of. Remember when Google was saying they were going to be making
developing their own games?
Yeah.
She was one of the talents that was they brought in to develop first party Stadia games before they dropped that, and then she took a lot of the talent with her and formed Haven independently.
Right, because isn't Haven composed of like a lot of other like tenured devs that that have been doing their thing,
industry vets like that have worked in the industry for a long time now, because Jade Raymond, the last time she really released led a game that actually saw the finish line was Assassin's Creed 2.
Damn. It is like with that it is interesting that like PlayStation jumped the gun and was like, all right, we're gonna buy Haven.
Well,
either like what they're making,
we're heading into like a hard like the AA and AAA space is becoming like heavily monopolized.
Not with PlayStation. PlayStation hasn't really been doing that.
Didn't they buy Bungie like 2 weeks ago? Or was that a month ago?
But Bungie,
but they've been doing they had a deal with Bungie, didn't they? For like getting content first?
That was the deal with Activision back when Bungie was still with Activision.
If we're keeping it a buck, both sides are really stocking up on,
I really do. I really think like whatever Haven is doing is really, really good, and PlayStation really sees some like it's going to be like this game is really what PlayStation is about, and they really want that on their team.
It could be that, or they could be like, we just don't want Xbox to have it.
Exactly, or it's like Xbox. Yeah, I don't really think they're trying to be like Xbox. They're going to be competitive with Xbox, but they don't have to be as aggressive as Xbox is being because of what they already have.
Yeah, they don't have to drop 70 bill.
A lot of their more recent acquisitions, they bought Housemarque and they bought Bluepoint, and they've like brought some teams that were working essentially in a second party capacity and brought them in as first party teams. But the Bungie acquisition and now Haven is working on the games as a service. They said it's something that they want, a persistent game that's multiplayer focused that allows players to express their creativity, and like the way they talked about it was very broad, but
it's like we don't really know, but we're working on these pillars.
But whatever they've shown PlayStation, because PlayStation invested in them very early on, and I want to say that was about a year ago that PlayStation announced, hey, we're just going to give Haven some money.
Hey, we fuck with y'all campaign shop.
Right. Because they did
a couple bands
Summer Game Fest either last year or a year before, where we had a few different smaller studios come out and say like Treyarch developers, they're like, we're making Deviation games and PlayStation is helping us fund our project. And so that's what, instead of necessarily going out and trying to acquire things, PlayStation is investing in teams in the second party capacity. Because, and we've been talking about this, that Sony has said that they want to have 10 games as a service in the next 4 years. So, and that could mean different things for different people, but that is somewhere where PlayStation's lacking blatantly. Like, for their shooters, for their multiplayer games, they've kind of had to do third party agreements. They've kind of had to make deals with other publishers to get the PlayStation push for multiplayer experiences. Like when people think PlayStation Studios right now, they think high budget third person action adventure game. Last of Us, Days Gone, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted, like you go down the list of Spider-Man, all these games, and I know Ghost of Tsushima added Legends, and that seemed like the first step in the direction of having something that was very, but I don't feel like Ghost of Tsushima Legends brought anybody into the PlayStation ecosystem. Like it was a good game and it was like a great like first attempt where for a long time they were
I think when they're ready to go balls deep into that game, it would bring some people over because it's really good. Like it's got a lot of the pieces, but you know, it's not like there's consistent content coming to it, which I get because this is some free DLC they added. It was like, yeah, multiplayer. Fuck it.
Right. And they actually did add considerable content after the initial release. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure whatever they're doing right now is working on what they're going to do next. If it's not Legends 2 or them just building on the bones that they already set down, which I'm also interested to see, like what they do with that. Because it's like, are y'all going to flesh it out? Or are we going to keep our same characters and it's going to roll over? Or are we just going to start new? That was just like the sample.
What I think it was just a sample. It was just them testing the waters, see how it'd be received because there was no way to get Legends on its own originally. Like now you can buy it as a standalone and it's free on PlayStation Plus and all that stuff. So now there are more ways to get into it but it's still like PlayStation exclusive. That's one of the things with Bungie. Bungie's stuff is going to stay multi-platform. It's going to stay cross-save, cross-play, and then Bungie's also working on... Yeah. It seems like PlayStation is going to help Bungie branch out into more multimedia things because the connections with Sony Pictures and like the different thing, like the different...
So Destiny TV show, Destiny anime.
Yeah. I'm here for all
that'd be lit.
I'm here for all of it. But
those live action
Destiny
were really good.
Destiny anime by Wit Studios. That was slap.
Yeah, and I mean Sony has the connections with owning Crunchyroll and Funimation like to help Bungie do that, and Bungie has the tools to help PlayStation actually make a solid multiplayer game that's a hit. In the way that PlayStation hasn't had one ever.
In a while.
When was the last time there was like a PlayStation first party multiplayer game that was taking over the world? I don't think ever, really. Like they've had some big hits.
PlayStation, what was that? What was that one game that was
not PlayStation that had PSN that was down every other fucking week.
PlayStation All Stars.
That was
ass.
Even as a fanboy, I can't even.
I really tried to like that game. I really did try to like that game.
Oh, Destruction All Stars.
No, no, but I feel you like going back to what you were saying, Anton. Like, where Bungie is going to continue to make their games, like it's going to be accessible on all platforms, just like Call of Duty that is now Xboxes is going to be accessible on
so the Bungie deal has gone through. The Activision deal does not go through till June of next year at the earliest. So we still
but either way,
part of me thinks that
that's
Activision
still up in the air.
Part of me thinks like
because there's also like an antitrust thing going on with that. Like the government's like, are we sure we should let them monopolize this hard? Like they're buying.
Right. And Microsoft has been like the amount of times Microsoft, even before all of this, has come under scrutiny for antitrust stuff.
And they combine that with the fact that they bought Bethesda, what was it, last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the deal
Why?
for Bethesda, the deal for Bethesda went through last summer. So, but we knew they announced that they were going to do that far ahead of time, and we had to wait for that to actually go through. And now that that's actually gone through, it's a longer lead up. There's more time between when they announced they were going to buy Bethesda and them actually buying Bethesda. Then that's like less than half the time from them saying they're going to buy Activision Blizzard to actually buying it. So there's still a lot.
Do you think that like they're gonna try to stop them from buying Activision Blizzard when? I mean, I guess it's out of the country, but like Sony's buying a fucking game company that's in Canada.
Well, Haven is nowhere near as big as Activision Blizzard. Haven is a small team, and part of the thing. So one of the
but they
reasons
just bought Bungie, who I would assume
Bungie's
isn't
also not that big though.
right. Bungie is,
And also the thing about Activision, when they bought Blizzard, is they didn't buy Blizzard. They bought Blizzard. They bought that was like 10 different teams.
That's true.
well, yeah.
At
Activision
least.
Blizzard King is like 3 publishers in one. That's that's a completely different ball game than Bungie. That's an independent developer, and all.
I mean, we'll see if it doesn't go through, but
all of the PlayStation acquisitions that have happened since the PS5 came out are combined smaller than just the Bethesda deal, and the Activision deal is bigger than the Bethesda deal. So this is it's levels to this shit, Chris.
I mean, I understand that, but
yeah, so one of the reasons that also that I've been hearing that they acquired Haven is because Haven is in Montreal, and Montreal literally just pays people to be creative. It's just
they birth game developers.
yeah, and a lot of game
I mean, it's just
developers
a good tax
go there.
place to be to do that.
Y'all trying to move?
Yeah,
I'm not a
No,
developer.
fuck the cold. No, it's cold up there. Absolutely
Hey
not.
man, I take
you
the
don't want to
free
go to the
healthcare.
Great White North.
Right.
Fuck that.
Free healthcare though.
Free healthcare. We
free
can.
That
We
would
can,
be lit.
we
I
can
could
work
get
on game
glasses. I
Chris
haven't
can
bought-
get glasses. He can finally see.
I haven't been able to buy glasses in 3 years.
Do I need to send you to somebody?
Yeah.
Not in
Okay,
America.
we'll talk after the podcast.
But yeah,
I would
so-
love to
Third
see.
Church of America.
I got 2 more years before Georgia says it's illegal for me to be seeing in this prescription.
But yeah. So that's another thing about buying Haven is they finally have a presence in Montreal. Like PlayStation, they have Team Asobi in Japan. They have like Bend and Santa Monica out on the West Coast. Insomniac kind of has a East Coast office and a couple other things like that. But the PlayStation,
They don't got no. I'm hearing no Atlanta-based office. That's what I'm hearing.
I mean, there's only
not
like
there yet.
2 developers here. And
Atlanta's not there yet. We
Right.
got to get big
It
tech
should be, though.
businesses, and then we'll get there.
Georgia is more focused on movies than it is games.
I mean, we'll
They
get there.
almost shot themselves in the foot with that one. So,
Damn, you are so right.
Right.
and they did. They just had to do some
Give me other than
backpedaling.
Hi-Res.
Hard.
What'd you say, Joe?
You mean other than high res?
I mean, there's High Res, and there's also the studio that did Maneater that I can never remember.
I mean,
the
there's
name of.
Skill Shot, High Res, Blue
Is it
Mammoth.
Skillshot?
Yeah.
Tripwire Interactive. So the
Tripwire
two that I
Interactive.
know of are Tripwire and High Res that are here.
Mhm.
But and even
There's
Tripwire kind of had some stuff
Yeah.
going on with it. I don't want to.
Were they tripping up?
Yeah,
Their CEO.
trumping up, maybe.
No, it
Was
wasn't
that what
even
it was?
Trump. It was supporting the Texas anti-abortion bill.
Oh
thing of,
God,
like-
I feel like that's almost worse.
yeah.
That's why Georgia was shooting itself in the foot with the fucking movie industry
Yeah,
Again.
again.
It happens every once in a while. I'm serious.
Also, I saw Purdue's trying to run again.
Georgia doesn't want to make money.
But
Right.
just looking at Georgia doesn't have the kind of vibrant development scene that Montreal has. So
I mean, but it could though. Like, look at Atlanta. It's like that
we
is
don't
a
need more people.
creative.
We don't need more
We
people.
don't need more people. I'm just saying they dropped the studio
just use
here.
the
We
people we
use the
already
people.
have, like-
yes, we use the
Like
people we already
SCAD, Tech,
have.
between SCAD and Tech, that's multiple studios right there.
Between SCAD, Tech, and fucking scene people, you got what you need.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I'll do it myself.
Fuck it. He'll do it himself.
Cheesy Controller Studios, you know.
Please.
But yeah. So there's a lot of positive that I see coming from, like, when Xbox buys things, I feel like it's consolidation. When PlayStation buys things, I feel like it's just them kind of getting their ducks in the row to like make better experiences and diversify.
I'm gonna say that's biased.
Yeah. I
But-
am going to say that's biased. I don't think Xbox is
I believe
buying
it's
anything
biased.
to like consolidate anything. I think Xbox is really just trying to make games for Xbox.
No, I think they're both doing it. Fuck it, they're both doing it.
Yeah,
Just
but
Xbox was like,
all
Are both
that's what
doing
I'm
it.
saying.
That is
I mean,
both doing
okay,
it. Xbox
that's-
is just taking it
PlayStation-
beyond to a different scale.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
because Xbox has a lot more to catch up.
and a lot
And
more money.
We could,
And a lot more money.
Mostly the more money
very
part.
true. The more money part, but like Xbox does have a lot to catch up. I mean, compared to what
And
PlayStation is doing.
Xbox sees where it's at and is focusing in on certain areas, like making gaming ubiquitous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that it's on every fucking thing
Not just
that
that,
you
but
can
also
play a
like
game
making
on.
sure they have the
Making sure
accessibility
that's
controllers.
exactly. They're doing all that peripheral shit that Sony's
It
like,
does, it does bother me that one of their studios, I forgot what it is, that is working on, the studio that's working on Perfect Dark, that like had half its team leave.
Oh no, they're gone. Like
The
right,
Initiative.
that Perfect Dark's being made by what is
Crystal
it? IDOS?
Dynamics.
Yeah.
No, Crystal Dynamics. My bad.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like, that is like, you got this team and you had a solid team going for you. Like, what, the lead developer of God of War was on it, and half your team is now gone. Now Crystal Dynamics is working on your shit. Like, there's
That would so
Well,
they
they
made
were working with Crystal Dynamics the entire time.
no
yeah.
that even
No,
that's
they-
a more
they
recent
brought-
development
They
because
brought him in to like it was a team, small team that was supposed to collab with another team to like help them out, and then I don't know, some shit went down, and it was like higher management was making all these things, and then it would just trickle down, and people were like, "I'm not having what the bullshit you're putting on us," and we're out. And that's what I kind of got the gist of what was happening. But that was like, I think a week ago that I heard that, like right before the last episode we recorded was when I heard that they were half the team already left. And I don't think any more news. I haven't looked up any more news on it.
yeah. But I mean that. So what it seems like with the Perfect Dark thing is the Initiative they opened that studio in
Mhm.
Santa Monica, trying to poach a lot of the talent from places like Sony Santa Monica, and but it seemed like they put the cart before the horse in the planning of that, and it just shows like Microsoft is not good at making teams.
No.
They're really good at buying teams,
they're good at spending money.
but they're not good at making teams. PlayStation is good at making teams. Like Japan Studio, Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, all these, even Sony Bend, like all these teams that kind of have been able to grow with PlayStation as a brand. And with the strength, like we're getting high quality. Even Insomniac, that was third party for a long time. A lot of the most major things they did were published by PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we still need that Sunset Overdrive port that I've been hoping for since Insomniac came into the fold.
I will say, I think I will to give
That would be
Microsoft some
actually
credit. They have given 343 the space to, figure out what they wanted to do with Halo. I'm not saying they've been the strongest at it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're finally on some solid ground with Infinite.
Infinite is in a really bad spot right now. Infinite hasn't gotten any new content in longer than it took Halo 3 to get new content.
Yeah.
And they've pushed back. So Halo 3, just as a comparison point for 343, Halo 3 came out with Forge and Firefight and campaign co-op. A fully featured multiplayer suite with more maps than Infinite has.
Mm-hmm.
Like a full campaign that supported co-op online and local, which Halo, they've just announced they're pushing that even further back. And then they had Forge, where the community would go in and make content for the game.
Please help us. Help us.
But, and now
I'm not saying 343 is doing well with it. I'm saying Microsoft have given them the space for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the real studio I'm looking out for to see what happens under Microsoft is Obsidian.
Yup.
That's who I have my eye on specifically as a
but even
Xbox studio. I want to see what they end up making.
They bought them because they put out Bleeding Edge and Grounded, and neither of
Obsidian?
those are they?
I don't think they did Bleeding Edge. They did Grounded though.
They did Grounded, but I don't think they did
They
Bleeding
did
Edge.
Grounded and
Oh no, it's Ninja Theory that did Bleeding Edge.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my
Ninja
opinion,
Theory has been mid to me for a good while. Like, what was the last thing they made that was good?
Hellblade.
I guess Team Ninja walked out.
Oh, they are the
superior.
Hellblade devs. Fuck. I take that back.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't feel like any of the developers that Microsoft has bought or made have put out anything of considerable quality that they weren't working on before they were bought. And the ones that they've made have not shown anything.
What are you? I'm sorry. You did add Infinite into your top 5 games of the year last year.
Yeah. And
It is
haven't played
a top tier game. Just because you were addicted to 14 and just because you got addicted to Elden Ring does not mean that
But
Infinite is not a good game.
There's, in comparison to Halo 3, Halo Reach, any of these other Halos at launch, the map selection is trash. There's only so many times I can play the exact same game mode on the exact same map over. Like, that's part of the reason that the concurrents have been dropping like a lead balloon. Like, sure, I'm not playing Halo, but it also, nobody else is playing Halo. Because it's only so many times people can play the same game mode on the same map with just no variety whatsoever. And that's the thing. Halo 3 launched with more maps than Halo Infinite has. Halo 3, by this time in its lifespan, had additional maps added to the map rotation.
I don't think Halo 3 is a fair comparison because you're comparing. I would at least keep it within the realm of 343.
Halo 4 came out with more maps than Halo Infinite has. And Halo 4 had co-op and had Forge and had all these things at launch. Master Chief Collection was a broken, shitty mess for years. For the entire Xbox.
Still is.
I'll give it some credit that it is at least playable now. It was literally unplayable for years. So, like, even like not comparing 343 to itself just brings out the issues even more with all of the problems. Like, yeah, Halo Infinite is a great game. It was one of my top 5 games last year, but as a games as a service, if you're going to put out a Halo platform and not update the platform, what are we, 6 months? No, we're more like 4 or 5 months after release, and there's been no new content at all.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
So that's what that's where my problem lies with a lot of Xbox studios. It's just like Ghost of Tsushima came out, got Legends, then got a PS5 version and story DLC. Like, if you compare, and I'm sure there's Days Gone, which I know some people like Days Gone. I could not stand to play Days Gone. Like, I got it, played it, gave it the old, like, we've talked about this on the podcast. Like, I just didn't like what Days Gone had going on. But even that,
Most people didn't.
I think, it found its audience because I know,
After, it got bad reviews when it first came out.
what was this Metacritic?
What game?
Days Gone.
Days Gone. Days Gone was a broken mess.
It wasn't broken.
It was not.
It's a
great.
71 on Metacritic. That's not
That's not good for PlayStation standards.
right, but
Yeah. That's failing.
compared to Xbox first party titles, like, what's Bleeding Edge? What's Grounded's Metacritic? Like, what are the Metacritics of these 66?
Okay, hold on, Anton. You do this a lot.
Those are different
Every
types
time
of
you bring
games.
up Metacritic, that's like, what is this on Xboxes? And then I look it up and you're like, well, it's not as good as like fucking
But every
Ghost
time
of
I do
Tsushima.
this,
I'm
it's
like,
to make
yeah,
the
okay.
same
Every time
point
you
that
do this,
gets solidified
yeah, but you're like,
every time.
what is it? Okay, what is
Because-
Halo Infinite on Metacritic?
And watch me find 5 PlayStation first party titles that are high. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is guaranteed higher than Halo Infinite. So, yep, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart 88, Halo Infinite 87.
Two completely different games.
Yeah, but I'm just
That's true.
saying, first
Those are
party,
apples and oranges.
next gen, your flagship title of what you.
Days Gone is not nobody's fucking flagship. Neither is Bleeding Edge.
Nope.
But both of those are late gen exclusives from last gen.
Those are literally the only things.
Or in the same vein with actually a first person shooter, Returnal was 86 on Metacritic.
Returnal, is that first person? I thought that was third person.
It's third
Returnal
person.
was
And it's a
definitely
rogue-
Is
Roguelike.
it third person? Oh.
It's
third person roguelike.
And
Well,
it just
it's
got
good.
co-op.
Which Halo still. Okay. Let's just screw it. Switch got a new firmware update. They finally added folders to the Switch.
Did they add
caveat-
themes?
No. Of course not. Do you know that would have been the lead story? Like, I would
Then I
have came in.
don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's
They let you make groups of your titles, and so you essentially have folders. The one problem with this system update is the folders don't go on your home screen. You have to go to your library anyway, and then you can make it's like a group section in your library. So
trash.
I mean, it's better than what PlayStation's doing right now. The PS5 has absolutely like no folders or anything like that.
No
You can't-
organization management. I guess I don't have enough games on PS5 that it necessarily matters.
Well,
Yeah,
one thing,
I don't use folders anyway. I'm savage.
the PS5 also got a firmware update that slightly crippled the PSN today. But the PS5.
Oh, who could have saw that coming?
When was the
They
last time
do.
PlayStation had an outage?
I really
Probably.
do feel like it was last year.
Last year?
A few times.
I feel like it could have been this year. For real.
No, I don't think it was this year. I really do feel like it was last year a few times.
I don't know. Like the infamous one that people still ride their back for was a 2011, but I mean, we're over a decade later than that.
Yeah, that's fine. But to hear a modern day outage, I was like,
well,
oh,
Christmas
damn.
they DDoS PlayStation
Everybody.
and Xbox.
Yeah,
every year. So
Switch was fucked up. My niece was like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Oh my god, this never happens.
I thought you liked video games. I don't know how to deal with this.
And then I got on Twitter. I was like, "Okay, it's not your Switch. It's everyone's.
It's everyone's.
They're alive."
Yeah, they're making you spend time with your families, you fucks.
I'd rather be playing video games, honestly.
Fuck that. You know what Christmas is for? Playing new games.
Right. That's true. Very true.
So looking even, but the Switch got folders. You can organize your games. The only folders I'm going to make are like Pokemon and Final Fantasy, just so I have quick access to those, and probably Monster Hunter. I'm going to just do a couple different series.
Oh yes, JRPGs.
Games to make content in, games to play for fun, games that are there.
Oh yeah.
What?
What's up, Chris?
How many Monster Hunter games are on the Switch?
Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, Monster Hunter Stories 2,
3?
and Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah, I think it's only 3.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
But I mean, hey.
Wait, is Stories on there?
Nice guys.
Stories, not Stories 1. Stories 1 was 3DS.
Okay.
I mean, hey, if you want to be organized, I guess.
But that's the thing.
Can't hate it.
That's my issue with it, is because when you go to your library, you can already set that to be like, my library is alphabetically organized, and that to me is my ideal organization method for games. Like, my apps are alphabetical on my phone. Like, in my opinion, just alphabetizing things, like my library on PlayStation, when I go all the way to the right, that's alphabetized. My Xbox library, that's alphabetized. So just for the default, even pre-folders setup worked for me. The only thing, like, the reason I want to do Final Fantasy is because since it's alphabetical, Roman numerals fuck it up, and Final Fantasy 9 is always before Final Fantasy 7 and 8, and it bothers the living hell out of me. Because I comes before V alphabetically, so VII, VII, versus
it gets even worse with
IX.
higher numbers.
Yeah, it gets really bad. So, yeah, Roman, that'd be the one of the few things that I just want to like organize that and make logical sense for me. But if I'm going all the way to the right and going into my library, it's already there alphabetized for me. So I might make some groups, but that's just an additional few button presses to get into the games that I'm trying to play on Switch. It still doesn't solve the problem that when I want to make my home screen look nice, I have to go in and open individual games and then close them out to put them like in the right order on the home screen. But on PlayStation, there is a toggle now to keep games on your home screen. So I don't necessarily, because that would be something that I would do. I would go in and open PS5 games in reverse alphabetical order, so they'd show up on my home screen in regular alphabetical order. So for people who are extremely OCD about stuff like that, like me, both Switch and Nintendo and PlayStation have your back. And I mean, Xbox, you've been able to make groups and pins and do all that because they've just, unlike Nintendo and PlayStation, where they completely reset their like UI improvements at the start of a new generation, Xbox was like, it took us this long to get the dashboard running smoothly at all. We're just going to keep it. I mean, it's a good dashboard. Like, for years, I would rag on Xbox's dashboard system because it was just, no matter what, it was laggy. Like, I don't have a shit ton of games on Xbox, but it would just be like, yo,
It was never smooth.
right. I
feel like it was the whole one series. It was just never smooth.
But it's smooth now, like, because it's the same dashboard across. Like, when I'm on my Xbox One S now, it is actually a good experience. Like, as
It's
far
nice.
as
I like it.
UI.
I like the Xbox. I will say I never hated the Xbox dashboards, but they were always a bit laggy now. Like
The not
laggy
responsiveness was my major issue with using an Xbox. For like,
I don't know, like 360 era, I felt like the dashboard.
No, that bitch lagged back. But
when
they still had the blades, it lagged as fuck. When it had the blades, it lagged as hell. And then when they switched to that, like,
it's still the dash.
Yeah, but to me, it was
tiles.
better. It was still better than the PlayStation 3. I feel like the PlayStation 3 felt laggy as shit.
I mean, probably going back now, in my opinion, in that time frame, because I switched from PS3 to 360 mid-generation, both of those were responsive. And then coming to PS4, of course, it was a lot more responsive than the PS3 or the 360. But then when I got an Xbox One, in comparison to the PS4, that shit was just... And it wouldn't even be the fact that it's laggy and it would take a while to get your input. Sometimes it just wouldn't register inputs. I'd hit down on the D-pad and nothing would happen. And that's just bad UI design. That's just... But they've gotten it to a good spot. And they, instead of resetting like Nintendo and PlayStation did, they just like, if it ain't broke and we finally got it working, don't change it. So I see somebody added this Xbox Indie Showcase to the dock. Is there anything in particular?
Tunic is out.
Oh yeah, I know Tunic's out.
Tunic is out. I already have it downloading. I'm definitely gonna have something to say about that next week.
Yeah, it seems to be getting a lot of the Elden Ring people because it doesn't tell you much and is very obscure.
It's an old school. It looks like an old school 2D Zelda game. Like.
Yeah. But also, so the collectibles you're getting are pages to the manual. And so mechanics are literally just locked behind you not
discovering them.
Yeah, not having the
knowledge. The same thing with it's so adorable looking. Can't wait to get my hands on it. And then also Chinese detective agency, I believe it's called. Also looks really, really good. Yeah, that looks interesting, and I want to get my hands on that.
I always have to just kind of go back and look at the highlights.
Chinatown Detective Agency,
because these are they're too long. I can't watch these. Like PlayStation State of Play, you're in and out in 20 minutes. These Xbox indie showcases are hours. But I did see Tunic was one that I think it was announced on an Xbox stage, and then it came out day and date on Game Pass, so that was good. Nice. And Shredders is also out on Xbox, which is something I hope comes to PlayStation soon because I want to play that. I really want to play that game.
And then also Curse to Golf.
Yeah. I'm mad Skatebird kind of flopped because Skatebird was one I was super excited for.
Yeah, I was really hoping Skatebird would be a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm hoping Session kind of pulls it together because that's one of the things that's bothering me about like there are games that I'm legitimately excited for on Xbox and then they come out and they're duds. Like, I got Session early access on Steam, and what I've played of it is not living up to the, like, I really hope Replaced is a fucking 10 out of 10. That is the one game, like, it's coming to Game Pass day one, whenever the fuck it comes out. I know they're a European developer, and it seems like
Also,
one of those. The last time there was an Xbox game that was super hyped up that actually delivered on, like, what I was hoping it would deliver on was Cuphead.
Yeah. That's a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
Have y'all watched the Cuphead show?
I
No.
watched the first 2 episodes.
It makes me laugh. To be honest,
It's a good time.
Yeah,
That's a good time.
it's worth it.
it's a good
better
time.
than- I heard it's better than the fucking Halo show.
Oh,
No, there's an episode when Cuphead and Mugman were like, I think they were pillow fighting or some shit. And then Mugman broke his handle. He was like, yo, something doesn't feel right. And Cuphead picked up the handle and was like, what? Those are fucking cups.
but yeah,
Shit.
I think it's the Netflix anime / cartoon / video game adaptation scene has been solid.
Pay them more. Pay animators more.
Right.
Pay them more.
Resident Evil better not suck. It's probably going to.
Yeah, I don't have faith in
No
the live
promises.
action. The live action, they got me for the last time with fucking Cowboy Bebop. Never again. Never fucking
Yeah.
again.
I'm gonna watch the One Piece one too.
I'm gonna
And
watch
Yu
it.
Yu Hakusho.
That's the thing about it is I know
yeah,
I'm going in there
Yu
knowing
Yu
they're gonna be bad, but
Hakusho.
I'm gonna watch them anyway because I gotta know.
I'm gonna watch the Cowboy Bebop one at some point.
Yeah.
Here's also my thing about Cowboy Bebop is if every time they did original episodes, like if that was just literally anytime it was just Faye, Spike, and them they're just doing their thing, they weren't trying to recreate the anime or doing some like, cowboy noir shit. It's amazing. It's amazing. Then Ed gets on screen and everything sucks again.
Oh fuck.
They did Ed dirty.
Okay.
But it's like when if they really would just let the main trio just do their space bounty hunter thing with some original episodes of that, the show would have been flames.
Cowboy?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was my
Like,
thing. I went
That's
into
the thing
it
about it
with
is Cowboy
high
Bebop
hopes.
had all the potential and they fumbled the bag.
They
Combined with their leading man literally shatters his ankle right after filming. But
But I mean, like, give him a year to recover. Put out another season in a year. It's just
Right, just
real life
make original
injury.
episodes, have them do their bounty hunter stuff, and we're good. 'Cause
Don't
the actors they got are
fucking-
good.
Right, that was it had
Yeah.
all the fucking potential. I was hyped.
Yeah.
And then I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes, and just every episode I got less and less faith. And then it was canceled, and I was like, well, I'm not going to finish this season because it's definitely not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, what we need is the Elden Ring.
It's JoJo's.
It's
I'll,
JoJo's.
I'll agree with some JoJo's.
An
JoJo's,
Elden Ring show?
yeah, like the lore, the fucking George R.R. Martin helping develop the world of this game helps it. So I'm on the platinum grind for Elden Ring. I have
Mhm.
30 something out of the 40 something trophies in the game.
Okay.
So it's just
Nice.
it's I want to say when I looked at it earlier, I had probably 4 more bosses left, and then I got to get the 3 trophy endings, and then I got to get the legendary. So like a lot of the stuff is attainable, and with the way I was tearing through bosses the other night, I went and found so many optional bosses and was murdering them.
Are you gonna do like the whole save and then before you get each ending, or are you gonna like replay?
Well, so
True.
for 2 of the endings, you can save scum and get like in the final room after you beat the last boss, you can go left or right, and for those two endings, I'm going to save scum. But the third ending, I'm going to do a new playthrough because
Okay.
I know where the
Well,
thing is. Like I found accidentally, like Radic and I were playing together, and I just hit a wall, and the wall disappeared, and it led down.
Oh, there's so many invisible walls.
There are a lot of
Like
invisible
they've
walls.
gone. It's honestly a bit excessive.
Well, not invisible walls, like hidden. Yeah, hidden. But yeah, so I accidentally found the place that right now, if I wanted to beat Elden Ring and get one of the endings, which is like the ending that I do on a new playthrough, I have like all I have to do is make my way down this place that is super intriguing. Like I went and explored there, and all I have to do is take off all my armor and get onto an altar down at the bottom, and that'll be the
Get
frenzied flame
sacrificed?
ending. Yeah,
Mm.
the frenzied flame, motherfucking pit of madness. It's fucking crazy, man.
is there a final boss in this game?
Yeah. And so the path that I'm taking now is to the actual final boss. That if I hadn't done Ronnie's quest line, I would just get the Sea of Stars ending. So like I can either get the Ronnie ending or the Sea of Stars ending, keeping going, and that's what I'm going to save scum to get both of those. But I've done the prep work for both of them, so like all I could really one of the bosses that I'm at, like I literally my game is saved at the site of grace before the boss fight, and I've been able to get him to his second phase consistently, and I just haven't had enough practices at him to get his second phase down. But yeah, after him, there's a final boss, and then this final boss's second phase.
Right.
But I'm trying to do all the optional shit before I go into my second playthrough.
So you can just run through it and
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through like I'm trying to do all the trophies except for that third ending. Well, I'm trying to do all the trophies except the 3 endings before I do any ending, even though I'm totally capable of doing any of the 3 that I want in the next 24 hours if I wanted to. But yeah, I mean, it's been great. There's some seriously, like, luckily the PSN party has still been hive minding it. I've been a lot more open to looking things up because some of these things is like, there is no fucking way I would have ever figured this out. I would have spent days trying to figure it out and probably still wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So, and yeah, I'm down, Chris. If you whenever you want to hop back in on PlayStation.
Okay.
Like I know Zach's out here 100%ing this game, getting every cookbook, getting every
Yeah, he's going
incantation, and like
next level with this shit.
and I'm not like I want to platinum it. I want to have the platinum for Elden Ring and say that I legit platinumed because I took these screenshots before I got off PlayStation so I could actually reference the numbers I'm working with here. So this is at 78 and a half hours into the game. I'm level 144 and like there was a boss that apparently was giving people trouble that I didn't realize was giving people trouble until after I beat him second try. No issues whatsoever. I went in, I was like, "Oh, you doing magic. You doing magic. And then I died and then I went back in, I was like, "Fuck your magic." Beat the shit out of him.
Nice.
Because I wasn't expecting magic at it. Like, I thought he was going to have some crazy weapon or some crazy second phase or something. No, it was just. He had Amaterasu. He had a lot of spells that I know are good. Like, that other bosses have used and have been a problem. But yeah, anybody do anything? So Madrid, you streamed Stranger of Paradise. How's that game
I
going?
did. So, if you want, you could watch it on twitch.tv/cheesy controller. There should be a VOD up of that. But yeah, so far I'm fucking with the game. I used to hate Jack, but now he's cool. He's fine. I did switch it to Japanese, so it's not like he's not like a white man anymore. He's just like
A
a
guy.
very grizzled Japanese dude that like will rip the head off of a skeleton and throw it into his rib cage and shatter him into red rubies.
Jolly Rancher.
It's pretty dope though. I like last night I unlocked Ninja. So I was playing Ninja and what other? I think Void Knight. So I was on some magical swordsman shit. Like the game's just really dope with like the different abilities that you unlock from each job and how those can roll over to other jobs. So let's say you learned katana skills on a ninja, you can take those abilities and roll them over to like any other classes that you're using with a katana, like Dark Knight. You can use a katana on a Dark Knight. So you can have like a ninja dash and like on Dark Knight. So you're doing soul suck, all that cool shit, and you're kind of tanky, but you have like different weapons equipped. So it makes it really cool and flexible. And then like, you can set different abilities that you learn from these classes. Just like different buffs or like debuffs or just certain moves. So it's flexible. I fuck with that. I like having options. This game gives you a lot of options. My major problems with it would be like kind of like level design. It's so fucking generic that it's easy to get lost when it's not super linear. So it's either super linear or like kind of convoluted and samey. So it does lead it to being a little confusing. But that's kind of like my main gripe with it. The stories or whatever.
I really want to play it. I got a platinum.
Finish Elden Ring.
Yeah, I can't
do what you got to do with that. When you come back, we'll be on playing Strangers.
Yeah, because I missed out on the Neo 2 train just because like Neo 2 wasn't hitting like that for me. But like Stranger of Paradise just seemed like
I saw the promise with Neo 2, but it just couldn't get its hooks in me.
Right.
Quite the same. And I think I think a part of that was everybody was like super overpowered, so running content with them was like, steamrolling. And then with this, like the gap is less.
I mean, it's going to be wide by the time I get in there.
It may be wide, but we would probably do some shit like run classes that we haven't leveled or something yet.
Yeah, and I mean,
which would help, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. But it's definitely on my list. The other thing, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Am I the only one that's gotten to play?
I'll get it on Friday.
Okay. I'm down to like Radic and I.
I'm still trying to decide where I'm getting it.
Yeah, I bought it on PS5 the other day.
Yeah, but have you gotten to play yet?
No.
I've hit the Discord a couple times, like, Persona. And I forgot how good this game is. Like, after playing these characters bastardized in Blaze Blue for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Like, coming back to actually having these characters actually have, like, depth to them and not, like...
My main wasn't even in Blaze Blue.
Who's your main?
The bitch with the axe.
Oh, I guess...
Labras? Which Labras?
I don't remember. But yeah, her.
Was it Angry Labras or regular Labras?
I don't remember. I would have to play with both of them to be like, it was this one. I think she had a Minotaur.
Yep, Angry Labras. Mm-hmm.
Angry Labras?
Answer. Angry Labras, yep.
Oh, shit.
Or
but now that I have a newfound appreciation for Persona, there's different characters I would like to play.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, especially like now that I've actually beaten Persona 4,
Oh yeah.
all those characters
I
are gonna
know
hit
all
a
the
lot
songs in
different.
Persona 4.
Yeah.
Chris, the
Yup.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax has both the story modes from base Persona 4 Arena and the Ultimax story, and though both of those are continuations off of 4's story.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Mhm.
unluckily,
Oh, hell yeah.
I haven't run into any fighting whatsoever in the story modes. So it's really just like exposition. But you
Mhm.
know,
Arxis.
it's at least presented between Persona 4 Dancing, the PS4 version that I got for buying the deluxe edition of 3 and 5, like the collection. It's ridiculous that's still the only way to get Persona 4 Dancing All Night on PS4. Like I wish
Mhm.
it just sell that game because in my opinion that is the best of those games still.
Mhm.
Yeah, between the presentation of Persona 4 Dancing and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I just really wish we had Persona 4 Golden on PlayStation.
Right, like God fucking damn it,
100
Steam.
here. Atlas just put everything, all of it,
Everywhere.
all of it.
Mhm.
'Cause
It
that's the
sounds
thing
like
about
they need
Atlas, like,
Unreal Engine
you
5
could just
so
go
they can
game
port
after
it
game
everywhere.
after game.
Mhm.
Just like God, like Golden's not available on modern systems. We're not even talking about Digital Devil Saga or Devil Survivor.
Well, Golden's on Steam, to be fair.
To be fair,
It is. And it plays
But it's like
really
it
well
should
on
be
Steam.
more places
Yeah.
than Steam.
I shit. Put it on
Hey.
Game Pass. Put it on Switch. Put it on PlayStation.
I feel like the main JRPG players aren't on Steam.
You'd be so just listening to Japanese podcasts, you'd be surprised.
no, there's a lot of stuff on Steam. Like them JRPG sales be going.
Yeah, but the reason so many JRPGs
I know they're there,
are
but I
going
mean,
to
like,
Steam is because in Japan the PC audience is growing like considerably. Like it used to be primarily handheld and mobile focused, but now with work from home, people are getting better PCs in their home, and like the PC market has been exploding in Japan. Capcom has been selling like internationally more copies of their game on PC than any other platform. And it's so yeah, I mean as far as like if you're thinking in the mindset of these Japanese publishers, doing it on Steam makes the most sense. It's just not the best option for certain people, i.e., me. Like put everything
me.
on PlayStation.
I literally
And
have this
I
shit
will
right
say
here
for
at my
everyone else-
fingertips, but I have yet to play it because it's on Steam. If I'm on my laptop, I'm doing this podcast.
You know, there
Yeah,
is
but
a-
your laptop can run a PS2 game.
I
yeah,
know.
he's just saying he
That's
doesn't.
what I'm saying. I'm not going to touch my laptop to play it. Like even with Game Pass, that's kind of my problem. Why I'm probably going to cancel my sub. I look at my laptop as just a laptop,
Man,
and it doesn't always feel like the smoothest experience.
you gotta change your
Steam
mindset.
needs to make them Steam decks more available. That's really all that is.
Well,
Yeah.
so one of the
Steam Deck.
things
Is Persona on Steam Deck?
yeah.
Okay, because I
Yeah, you
know
can
not
play
every
Golden on
game
Steam Deck.
is
And Scramble.
is
And
doable.
Wait, there's only like 2 games that aren't readily available.
On Steam Deck.
Yeah, I forgot which 2, but
Well, no,
actually, I
there
think
are
Persona is one of them.
There's
so
a few.
there's actually like a considerable amount that aren't supported because you need a mouse and keyboard or certain things like there.
Would that be Apex?
Well, no, I think you can
No,
play
Apex has controller support. We're talking about things like
Alright.
Crusader Kingdoms and like Total Warhammer 3 and shit like that.
But even those, I think they have like pretty much any game with controller support you can make work, and even things that aren't fully supported, you can just make them run.
Heck, they figured out how to get the Xbox Cloud player to work on it.
Well, I mean that's just streaming.
Yeah.
They just
Persona 4 Golden is not supported.
Oh,
I've seen people
See?
play it on the Steam Deck.
They probably.
I'm
jailbroke
literally
this shit.
looking at a list of unsupported games in Persona 4, unless this website's a lie. And it's gg.deals. Anti-cheat, not anti-cheat.
Also, Guilty Gear announced its last character for the season pass.
1. Yeah, and it's getting crossplay. So, Chris, since you
Oh,
only have
nice.
it on Steam, it's going to have PS4, PS5, and Steam crossplay before Season 2. So sometime
heck, that means I'm going to buy it.
Mhm.
I hope y'all ready for that
Roll
gender
back.
neutral.
Oh no, I'm playing. You know, I'm a Revenant man now. That's the way it's going to be. I get a sight.
Testament.
Testament. Thank you. Testament. Testament has. So if Testament is gender neutral, that means can Testament get
Testament
gender
was-
frame advantage?
I mean, Testament was historically a bad bitch, so it does make sense.
Mhm.
Look, all Revenant got the one thing that they've always needed: a good hat. They needed a good hat, and that's a good hat.
Good hat is good.
Yeah.
I think
Your
I'm
character
finally
can
going to
get a
fuck
good
around
hat.
and
I recommend it.
fuck. It's like I want to get Persona Ultimax, but it's like, damn, I also need to finally get Guilty Gear
Well,
because I want to get back to it.
Guilty Gear is just more of a financial investment than
Yeah, that's the thing. And with that, it would warrant not an equal, but at least a more appropriate time commitment. And I know that is not going to be the case.
Mm-mm.
Shit, who knows? Maybe.
And also, who knows when the Evo sale's going to be?
Mhm.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
Guilty
that's what
Gear
I'll wait
might go
for.
on sale for the Evo sale,
That's what I'll
but
wait for.
I don't
that
see
Evo sale.
Persona going on sale for a minute.
I
Considering
mean, it
how
just
But also,
dropped.
it's not that much.
right, yeah, it's only 30,
Or at least
for
on Steam.
Persona.
Oh, yeah. It was mad cheap.
Yeah, and Guilty Gear is base $60. But
I'm trying to get the season pass.
yeah, I think
So you're paying that 85.
I think it's more than that.
Well, on Steam.
Oh well, then it might. I think it has price parity everywhere because I mean it's considering it has rollback, launch day and date, like same content, same. So it might be 85 for the. Is that just the game and the characters, or is that also the color sets? Because with color sets,
It is
more
for
import
85.
content.
It's the. I don't think it's the color set. I think it's just the game and the season 1 pass.
Well, what if you get the deluxe that has all that stuff included? Because doesn't that come with the colorways and stuff too?
I think that's what I'm looking at.
I haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, and I'm logged in. I don't feel like logging out of PSN on my browser to try and.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Nope, it comes with the color pack.
Okay. Well then, yeah, I mean,
Because
that's a good
that would be
price.
criminal not to.
And then we got the new Skullgirls character coming soon. Umbrella will finally be out in the near future. Like we're getting a lot of information about Skullgirls out of GDC, so it seems
that's
like
dope.
Umbrella's moveset is finalized. And so more Skullgirls is always a good thing. All right,
Yeah.
does anybody have one more thing before we wrap it for this week?
Nope.
Thank God we're heading into a
Nope.
slow period, or at least a AAA slow period. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
I've low-key had the Final Fantasy itch on the lowest of keys. And I think there's a live letter on April 1st too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And
So we're probably
yeah.
gonna finally get a date for 6.1
Here we fucking go.
I'm super stoked. Like, I need to get game time. Actually, that's probably going to be my thing this Friday is to get some game time so I can get that wolf.
I know that time card's coming soon. There's going to be a new one that drops probably within a week. I can guarantee it. And I will cop and stack it.
Let's do it. There's still some things I need to do in that game, especially in game.
There's definitely, I still want to do Savage Behemoth and Alexander unsynced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, remember you can follow us all collectively around the internet, cheesycontrollerpodcast.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Anton6, 3X is Chris.
You can follow me at Chefing Chris.
Jalen.
With Bishop.
Madrid.
3 Feet Set Pod.
Alright, this has been a Know It's Good production. The video version is edited by Lawrence Twisted Mind. The audio version is edited by Iknowjones. Until next time, keep it cheesy.